And Chris at the familiar Superdome, the home of the undefeated Saints, hosting their rival, the 4-2 Atlanta Falcons, on Monday Night Football.
Every divisional game is a battle. We got a bullseye on our chest. Monday night against the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be electric. For them to be able to come into our home and try to beat us, I know would be a big thing. Anytime you get in a matchup like this, something's got to give.
Here in New Orleans, a very special bond with this city and their Saints. And they welcome this undefeated team under the big top of the dome. We welcome you to ESPN's Monday Night Football launch, engineered by the GMC Sierra. Saints Falcons on Monday Night Football. And we welcome you to Louisiana. The Saints and the Colts of Indianapolis, the only remaining undefeated teams through the first 2 months of the NFL season. In the first 5 wins for the Saints, they never trailed, not for a second. But last week in Miami, they fell behind 24-3. There was concern. Second half, all they did was come out and score 36 points. 6-0, win tonight, equal the best start in franchise history. Dream season for them, kind of like Atlanta had last year. Think about the Falcons rising from the ruins of the Michael Vick saga and Bobby Petrino checking out in the last quarter of the season. Falcons were 4-2 to start last year. It's exactly what they are right now. But as I bring in John Gruden and Ron Jaworski, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same enthusiasm. Welcome to life with expectations for the team and their quarterback, Matt Ryan.
And their quarterback is now the quarterback of the present and of the future, that being Matt Ryan. He's 24 years old. He's mature beyond his years. He's already started 22 games in the NFL and won 15 of them. He's big, 6'4", strong, 220 pounds, and he can make all the throws, and he has tremendous pocket awareness. Tonight, the problem going to be the crowd noise. Can he handle that tough road crowd? Tonight, he's got to play mistake-free football, and he must sustain offense and keep Drew Brees and all his weapons on the sideline.
And deal with the Saints' very difficult defense. He mentioned Brees. They're scoring almost 40 points a game on a record pace. Brees is the guy who makes it go. Why does it work so well?
I call Drew Brees the surgeon, because when he steps on a football field, he cuts defenses up. He's a precision passer. He's deadly accurate, and he has incredible timing and anticipation. He's a football genius, and nobody outworks Drew Brees. He's cool under pressure, and he is a fiery leader. He plays with the chip on his shoulder. A lot of people have doubted his size, doubted his shoulder resurgery, and he's back. He's ready to go.
Yeah, you got sheriffs and surgeons. You got it all here, man. Time for the right man for the job, presented by Michelin. Certainly it's been Drew Brees since he became a Saint, #1 in completions, attempts, and passing yards. But no numbers measure his enthusiasm and his leadership of this team.
They're here to see you. They're here to see us. Let's be special. Let's be strong. Let's smell greatness from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
See Penny, this guy's a winner. Darren Sharp, for 8 years in Green Bay, 4 in Minnesota. Came to New Orleans as free agent this year. 6 of the team's 13 interceptions. He leads the NFL in that column in 13 years. He is new, and so is the defensive coordinator, Greg Williams. And boy, the people in the schemes, what a great fit, Ron.
Yeah, and Darren Sharper has benefited from Greg Williams' aggressive system. This system, they will come after the quarterback from more angles than a politician. They blitz 57% of the time in passing situation with all kinds of exotic blitzes. They will come after the quarterback. They will try to break him down. Hey, you want to bring maximum protection, 7 guys in the block? Well, the Saints will bring more. The Jets kept 7 in. Watch how many defenders hit Mark Sanchez. 3 of them. Hey, that's the total blitz. They'll also come with those zone blitz schemes. Overload the right side. You think they're coming there. Darren Sharper backs out. And watch out, because here they come off the left side. They get after the quarterback. It's all about pressure, and they've been successful with their pressures. They've generated 9 interceptions and 7 sacks when they have brought that pressure. They will get after Matt Ryan tonight.
All right, they've got a challenge, though, and so, too, as a matter of fact, does the New Orleans the Atlanta defense because of the tight ends. 2 elite NFL tight ends in this game who bring more than just their pass catching to the table, John.
Well, these 2 tight ends tonight, I refer to them as jokers. They're good in any hand. They can run block, they can pass protect, they can line up in any formation, and they can run all the routes. Let's start with the godfather of tight ends, Tony Gonzalez, the all-time leading receiver at that position. He still can run all the routes all the time with great stamina. And if you spend too much of your time accounting for the great Gonzalez, somebody else will beat you. And the 49ers paid a couple weeks ago as Roddy White got downtown.
And for the Saints, they have Jeremy Shockey. He is their joker. He can get down the field. Hard to bump because he's big and he's strong. And when he catches the football, yes, he does become the joker.
And the jokers are back tonight. Who said Halloween's over?
Did you pick that up on Bourbon Street Saturday night? My goodness. What does it come to? Did you win a Super Bowl, sir? Frank Gifford, Hank Williams, and they kick off of an important game in the NFC South. You really did it, didn't you?
You've been watching ESPN's Monday Night Football Launch, engineered by the GMC Sierra, the official vehicle of Monday Night Football.
So we are ready for Monday Night Football. He's gone!
Lord, you can take me now. I've seen it all.
September 25th, 2006. Just 13 months after Hurricane Katrina, the Louisiana Superdome reopened to a boisterous crowd of more than 70,000, ready to welcome home their beloved Saints. And the Saints wasted no time giving the Big Easy something to cheer about.
Look out! Right through! A kickback by Steve Gleason. It is scooped and scored by Curtis DeLoach. Touchdown, New Orleans!
From there, the Saints rolled to a 23-3 victory on the way to their first playoff appearance in 6 seasons. And now, once again, it's the Falcons and Saints. Are you ready?
Celebrating the 40th season of NFL Monday Night Football, ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Season 40, Chapter 8.
Street tonight. Come on and get ready. I mean, really ready. Are you ready for the football? A Monday night party where primetime pigskin officially started. Get those helmets crashing in the crowd of sight. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. Celebration in this city. Halloween was Saturday. They started Friday afternoon, and they're just wrapping it up now. Yesterday was All Saints Day. A lot of people think it's going to be a Saints night. We'll see what the Falcons can do on offense first. As Matt Ryan will be out there, the Falcons winning the toss, and Mike Smith's team will receive. Sean Payton's New Orleans team, undefeated, leading the division by 2. Thomas Morstead will kick it off to Eric Weems. Off we go from the Superdome in New Orleans. Weems, from 2 yards deep, going to bring it out. And get brought down to the 23-yard line. Been hit to start the game by Pearson Prelo out of Virginia Tech. We got Matt Ryan out of Boston College. Grew up in Philadelphia. Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC last year. Very strong performance. His numbers still good again this season. Just seeing a little bit less help from the running game and a little more pressure on Ryan to
to get the job done.
Yeah, Mike, I always look at that interception to touchdown ratio. Still very good for Matt Ryan. Very judicious with the football.
Ovi Mahele, the fullback, is active and playing. Question mark right up till game time. First run, Michael Turner, a couple of yards. Jolan Dunbar on the stop. So this Atlanta offense, Michael Turner, not going to have his running mate in the backfield. Jarius Norwood's out, so Veron Haynes will see some action. White, Jenkins, and the future Hall of Famer Gonzalez, the pass catchers. Up front, Sam Baker was a first-round pick the same year as Ryan. The draft a couple years ago. It's pretty solid in there. So is Todd McClure. The veteran center starts his 119th straight game. After an official gain of 3, second carry, Turner up the middle. And Michael Turner takes it close to midfield. A guy who had a huge year last year, tackled by Roman Harper after a gain of 22.
Well, it's been well documented that Michael Turner has struggled in recent weeks. But here's just a nice zone cutback play. They get up on the second level, and Michael Turner, he needs to get hot for the Falcons tonight running a football.
What was surprising, it was Brian Finneran, number 86, in the backfield, and Ovi Mahele, the fullback, split out wide.
After Turner's second longest run of the year, first designed pass of the night. Ryan gets out of the tackle box, throws it over the line. That's incomplete. Charles Grant was putting on the pass rush. Ian Will Smith off the edge for this group that's forcing 3 turnovers a game. Hargrove and Adele in the middle. Jonathan Vilma Smart, the former Jet, good at the middle linebacker spot. Second year in New Orleans. Love the way the secondary is played. Greer and Porter at the corners. Harper and we mentioned the veteran Darren Sharper turns 34 tomorrow. 60 interceptions. 9th in NFL history. Ryan, 2nd and 10. First pass caught, Michael Jenkins. 60-year wide receiver, shown the sideline by Porter. 3rd and 3 coming up.
I like what Mike Mularkey has done, offensive coordinator of the Falcons, to start this game. Back-to-back runs with Michael Turner, a quick bootleg to move the pocket for his young quarterback, and a quick 3-step drop. Beautiful start for the Falcons.
And it gets the Falcons in that manageable 3rd and 3 situation, John. And everyone in the box looks like they're coming, and they're going to back out.
Ryan got a good block from Finneran, who was in the backfield, and a completion to Roddy White for the first down. Tackled by Jabari Greer. Good job picking up the pressure.
What a tremendous catch by Roddy White. Pressure on the outside, the bump and run. You'll see it from Jabari Greer, but the big size of Roddy White at 6 foot, 208 pounds. The throw slightly behind him, but great body control by Roddy White. Look at the hands, strong hands to snag that ball. First down, Falcons.
Got the back end of the ball there as it was cruising on through. Good opening drive. Atlanta had a great opening drive at Dallas last week. Turner, no gain. Roman Harper makes the tackle. 4th year out of Alabama.
Well, here's Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Saints, getting involved. Take a look over here on the strong side of the formation. Roman Harper's going to blitz. He's going to be unaccounted for. And usually good football players that aren't blocked make tackles.
There's Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, matching wits with Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator. Those guys were back-to-back coaches in Buffalo, head coaches of the Bills. 2nd and 10. Ryan has time. Complete. There goes Gonzalez, the future Hall of Famer. Big gain. 27 yards to the 13.
Well, here he comes, the first joker of the night. They put Tony Gonzalez in motion, and the blitz comes away from the motion. And if you can pick it up, and you can get defenses with 3 deep and 3 underneath, Tony Gonzalez knows where to find these spots against zone defenses, and you can see he can run after the catch just like he did in those Kansas City days.
And there was some confusion by the Saints defensively. They end up getting Tony Gonzalez on the backup linebacker, Marvin Mitchell.
Justin Peel, the tight end, the block on the edge for Turner, who got the corner and has the opening touchdown. And And the din has been silenced by the Falcons in 8 plays.
How about that for an opening drive? Mike Mularkey goes to 3 tight ends. There's some confusion in terms of who has what gap, and Michael Turner bounces it all the way back to the outside. And wait till you see Roddy White blocking on the perimeter. That's big time.
Took Jabari Greer down. Jason Elam adds the extra point. Last week in Dallas, it was 16 plays and 80 yards. Tonight in New Orleans, 8 plays, 77 yards. And again, an opening touchdown for the Falcons.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Bud Light, with the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And IBM, let's build a smarter planet. Visit IBM.com/smarterplanet.
Back in the quieter Superdome, quieter than it was just 4 minutes ago on the clock when this game started. The Falcons won the toss and walked it on down the field. Matt Ryan completing a couple of balls along the way, 3 of 4 on the drive. Capped by a touchdown run from Michael Turner. So 7-0. Michael Kanan with the kickoff. He's the punter for the Falcons. It's a huge leg. And we'll get no return out of Courtney Roby. So Drew Brees and that great Saints offense to take over from the 20-yard line. They take over like they did last week in an early hold. Oh, it's good to get a head start on this bunch. The New Orleans Saints, who score 40 a game. The Falcons got the first 7.
Well, if you want to run the football, you got to have great blocking. Watch Justin Peel seal the backside. There's Tyson Clabo on Jolan Dunbar on the inside, and Roddy White with the key block on the edge. If you get Michael Turner some one-on-one looks in space, I don't care if you have Darren Sharper or who you have, he's gonna win.
It's been one of the big questions in Atlanta. How come Turner hasn't been as good as he was last year? Slow start, but a very good opening drive from Michael. Brees and the Saints take over from the 20. Here's another Michael. Mike Bell, 4 to the 24. Jevis Jackson makes the tackle. Brees is the quarterback, making his 113th start. The start last week against Miami with good numbers, but those 3 interceptions, part of the reason that New Orleans fell behind early on in the game.
But Drew Brees showed incredible resilience when they needed him in that second half. He came through. That was a big win for the Saints last week.
Another run with Bell, made a good cut to the left. He gets a first down out to the 34. Gain of 9. Thomas Deku, safety, made the tackle.
Well, they call Mike Bell the hammer here because of the way he finishes runs. It's well blocked. Mike Bell bounces to the outside, but watch his pads lower at the point of contact. This guy drops hammers on defenders. They love Mike Bell here in New Orleans.
Every run of his ends with a collision.
Free agent signee, remember his time in Denver. 677-yard season. Pierre Thomas is the running back. Brees' first throw is a catch for Lance Thomas for about 4 yards. It's like hockey. They change on the fly. They got a whole bunch of guys who touch the ball and all factor in. Reggie Bush on the edge. Pierre Thomas. You've already seen Mike Bell, the power back. All 5 top pass catchers average over 10 yards per catch. Holston tall, the speed of Henderson, more in the slot. Meacham stretches defenses, and Joker 2, Jeremy Shockey, is healthy and has 26 catches, averaging 12 per grab thus far. Now Bush in the backfield, and here's Reggie. Starting to the outside, he's tackled by a guy. If you were watching Monday Night Countdown, you heard Matt Millen talk about Curtis Lofton, number 50, second year at Oklahoma. I'll show you the guys who are around him. Up front, you have John Abraham, terrific end rusher with Babineau. Trey Lewis for the injured Thomas Johnson. Of course, you have the pass rusher Jamal Anderson. There's Lofton in the middle, being mentored by Mike Peterson on that linebacking level. Houston and Grimes, they're on the spot tonight. They have to play well. Coleman is the veteran in that secondary, 6th year in the league. Shockey at the top of the screen, 3rd and 4. Breeze time. Shockey got it. First down.
That's where Drew Brees just kills you. He motions the receiver across the formation and then takes a look at the defense. He sees he has Jeremy Shockey over there to his left, one-on-one. He gives him a hand signal. That's why I call that guy Shockey a joker. He can line up anywhere and beat anybody, and he's healthy and he's playing great.
She used that body so well on the safety. Deku there. Pierre Thomas runs in. Ty Hill is in as a cornerback, and a gain of 8.
The big difference in the Saints this season from past years is the running game. They've always had the passing game with Drew Brees. Now you're seeing the power running game. You can see with Pierre Thomas as well as Mike Bell. And now Sean Payton can dial up those runs and keep his offense on schedule.
Sean, who's coached in New York and Dallas and Philadelphia as an offensive assistant before this head coaching job. Breeze complete. They cleared out space for the other tight end, David Thomas. First down to the 28-yard line. Nice job by Thomas protecting Breeze.
Take a look at Drew Brees in the pocket. Watch his eyes. He takes his eyes off the defense with the play-action pass, but he sees the field. He doesn't like his primary receiver. He knows where to go with the outlet. And look at the location, Jaws. A foot in front of his numbers.
And the Falcons better get some pressure on Drew. It will be a long night.
After a gain of 11, Reggie Bush on the edge. Wrapped up and brought down by a former first-round pick, Ty Hill. Remember him with the St. Louis Rams? Kind of flamed out there. Didn't do a heck of a lot. Traded here.
You know, the thing with Sean Payton and this Saint offense is, man, does he know how to start games. They scored 4 touchdowns on their opening drive already and a field goal, and they're well on their way to more points. This guy knows how to start games.
One guy they're missing here in the lineup, Heath Evans, their fullback on injured reserve, out for the year. Kyle Eckel just signed this week. Through the block for Mike Bell on a 2nd and 7 run. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Kyle Echols with the Philadelphia Eagles a year ago. Obviously, with Heath Evans going down, the Saints had a need to someone to fill in that fullback spot. Echo comes in on like Tuesday or Wednesday and getting a lot of action tonight.
They call me Italian Stallion.
Philly guy.
Yep. Out of the Naval Academy, he was twice the MVP of the Army-Navy game. Play adjusted, 3rd and 4. Get to this run with Thomas, who got past the first tackler and goes in. Touchdown, New Orleans.
They can just beat you so many different ways. If you want to play a lot of coverage, Drew Brees is going to see the 2 deep safeties. He's going to audible to a running play. And if Pierre Thomas and Mike Bell continue to run the football like they have early this season, I don't see anybody stopping the Saints.
In all due respect for all those play calls, Chevis Jackson must make the tackle, and it's a 1-yard gain.
Michelle Tafoya down the sideline tells us that a beer bottle was thrown from the stands onto the field. So that's the delay for the moment before we get out the extra point by John Carney. The veteran kicker knocks it through. One of 3 men in NFL history over 2,000 points. This man who couldn't get the tackle done, Chevis Jackson. And Pierre Thomas, high percentage of 15-yard runs. That's another one. Touchdown. Somebody likes to say you like to see championship teams answer a score with a score. Is that true, John?
Indeed. That was impressive. But, you know, when you look at the drive, They had 3 different guys carry the ball, 4 different guys catch the ball, and it's a 10-play, 80-yard drive. Outstanding.
Yeah, 6 runs, 4 passes. They responded to Atlanta's first drive of 4 runs, 4 passes. Boy, when you have balance on offense, it's hard for the defense to zero in.
Michelle told you about or told us about the beer bottle thrown on the field, so it's a kickoff from the 15-yard line that is run up and taken by Finneran. That's going to be great field position for the Falcons at the 46-yard line. So the overzealous fans cost their team a bit here. A very short field for Matt Ryan, the kid out of Philly, starring in Atlanta, on the field when you come back. Matt Ryan and the Falcons take over at their own 46-yard line. The 15-yard penalty on the kickoff, just to be clear, was for celebration by the Saints, not the beer bottle being thrown on the field, although that should be flagged, to be honest with you. In any case, now you know why the good field position for Atlanta. And a Turner run for a couple of yards with Roman Harper making the tackle. John mentioned the jokers at the start of this game, the tight ends who make such a difference. Well, what has Tony Gonzalez done for Matt Ryan? Well, in his rookie year, here's how Matt Ryan was spreading the ball around to the Falcon receivers, mostly to his wide receivers. Very little, 7% to the tight end. Add a future Hall of Famer, I think that percentage is going to go up 26%, about a quarter of his passes now going that way to Gonzalez mostly. Tony with 28 catches now on the season. They bring Turner back to the backfield and run with him to the left. Jonathan Vilma waiting. But Turner able to squeeze it across midfield. We'll have 3rd down coming up.
And Mike, as I've watched this Atlanta offense so far through the season, they've changed the dynamic of their personnel. They use 2 tight ends now. 44% of the time they're on the field together. That's the most of any team in the National Football League. So clearly those 2 tight ends are going to catch more balls if you have 2 of them on the field. And Tony Gonzalez certainly has changed that. But it's not only a short passing game. They will send Tony Gonzalez deep. He still has a great skill set.
3rd and 4, 5 defensive backs. And Gonzalez from the top in motion. Flag down as Ryan gets rid of it. Incomplete, but the Saints were getting antsy up top. First flag of the night. Our referee is Jeff Triplett.
Offside, number 50 in the defense. The 5-yard penalty.
And he's just checking to see if it will be a first down. It should be.
Results in a first down.
Thank you. Marvin Mitchell, the linebacker, came in the nickel situation, jumped.
Well, take a look at it. It's clearly going to be an open side blitz, and Marvin Mitchell just jumps the gun. And Michael Malarkey and Matt Ryan do a great job with the snap count on 3rd down. They'll snap it quick. They'll use a hard count. They vary it. You got to concentrate better than that.
Play action. Ryan steps up in the pocket but cannot escape the rush of Will Smith. 40th career sack for Smith.
This is great to see from Will Smith. We all know about his contract, but let's see him work here against Baker, the left tackle. He gets the outside edge, and he still has foot speed, Jaws. And Sam Baker's got to get that done. Matt Ryan's got to climb in the pocket, but you can't give up the corner that quickly.
And it was only a 2-receiver route, so they had 8 offensive players in the block. Still got the pressure on Ryan.
2nd and 12. Ryan turns and throws. A little bit high and incomplete. Intended for Michael Jenkins. We'll have another pass rush situation coming up. You heard John mention Will Smith, first-round pick out of Ohio State in 2004. The contract you referenced was 6 years, $70 million in 2008. Everybody expected 10.5, 14 sacks. Well, he had 3. And people were a little down on him, but he has picked it up here this year. He had sports hernia, and that surgery in the offseason really slowed by that injury last year. 3rd and 12, they go quick that time, but only rush 3. Still get Ryan. Will Smith, Anthony Hargrove.
What a terrific changeup by Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator. We've looked at the Saints all week long. 57% blitz in passing situations. So the first real passing situation they get into, what do? They bring 3 and drop 8 into coverage and still get the pressure on Matt Ryan and force a punt by the Falcons.
Lance Moore goes back to return the punt. He's even more sure-handed than Reggie Bush, and the punter, Michael Koenig, gets great hang time on his kicks. And Moore makes the fair catch of a tough-to-bring down ball at the 8th. And it fired up on the defensive side. Should be. A couple of sacks on that drive. Good field position turns into no points for the Falcons. Extraordinary comeback for the Saints last week in Miami. They were down 24-3. Drew Brees talked Sean Payton into going for it. Last play of the half, they get the touchdown as part of the comeback. Extraordinary 17-foot leap by Reggie Bush to break the plane. Brees' second rushing touchdown caps the comeback. 36 in the second half, outscoring Miami 22-0 in the fourth, remaining unbeaten with a 46-34 win.
Yeah, and a fabulous come-from-behind win, and that will pay huge dividends down the road. You put that one in the reservoir, because somewhere down the road, you're going to fall behind, and you know you've done it already. You can come back. That will build your confidence.
Drive start from the 9 with a flag down. Brees has a shot. Off the hands of Shockey and almost intercepted by Stephen Nicholas, but he couldn't bring it in. Comes down incomplete. We'll check the flag at the line of scrimmage.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
On Jonathan Babineau, be 1st and 5. As a coach for Sean Payton, what does a comeback like last week do for you for the rest of the year?
Well, it just tells you have a team that has football character. When you have guys that never quit and play their best football when they're behind, that's something you can really use down the stretch. And remind your guys, we have what it takes when things get tough.
You coached the team from down 24-3 1 year ago today. Did you know that?
We want to.
Happy birthday comeback! Won in overtime, 30-27. Brees hit and lost the football. Touchdown for Bierman. Troy Bierman out of Montana, able to pick it up after Thomas Deku knocked it out. And a turnover touchdown, and the Falcons jump back on top.
And Drew Brees took a shot from Thomas Deku, freed the ball. Deku coming on the blitz. Here he comes late. Ooh, bang, he gets a shot on Drew Brees. Jars the ball loose. Bierman picks it up and takes it in. That was that delayed blitz. He came late and put a lick on Drew Brees.
Deku, second sack of his career. He had one last week against Dallas. And Troy Bierman gets his first NFL touchdown. Sack specialist out of Montana. But the pressure by Deku able to free it up for Mike Smith's team to take the lead.
Well, Mike Smith is an outstanding defensive coach in his own right. And Brian Van Gorder, his defensive coordinator, was with him in Jacksonville. They talked about coming in here and hitting Drew Brees. Spontaneous blitzes. The Falcons are a team that doesn't blitz a lot. And right there, Deku showed you why they moved Lawyer Malloy out of here. They wanted to get younger and faster at the safety position. And Deku, he just blurred the screen right there with a big-time hit.
That was 1st and 5, too. You know, so you think an offensive advantage down and the pressure brought by the second-year man, Deku, another second-year guy. Bierman with the touchdown. That's part of what's happened with this Atlanta defense. John just mentioned Lawyer Malloy. Grady Jackson's not here anymore. Keith Brookings in Dallas. They had success, but they're trying to build a young team, and some of that youth made 2 plays right there.
Yeah, and you talk about Mike Smith, the head coach, and Thomas Dimitroff now has come in and really taken over building his football team. Mike Smith on the field coaching his team, but there's a vision now. It's not, hey, what are we going to do right now? They're building his team for the long haul, not just a quick win. And you see the young players, the early round draft choices, starting to make significant contributions for the Falcons.
Another deep kickoff. What an advantage Michael Caine is in the punt and kickoff game. No return. 30 Eastern, 6:30 Central.
You know, a lot has been made about the Saints defense generating turnovers. They came in with 18. Well, Atlanta had 13. They're up to 14. Both these defenses thrive on taking the ball away.
Breeze a fake to Bush. Drifting back. Able to find Devery Henderson in front of Ty Hill for the first down game.
Drew Brees does such a wonderful job of processing information. The play design was to get Jeremy Shockey out in the flat. You'll see the toss over to Reggie Bush fake. He comes out. Now he's looking for Shockey, not there. So now he comes to his second receiver. That's what Drew Brees can do. Find alternate receivers almost as well as any quarterback in the game.
Saints bringing an extra offensive lineman, Zach Streif, who reports as an eligible receiver. Vicious on that end, blocking. Bush goes the other way. Reggie trying to get out the back door, but a push in the back is likely going to bring back this first down game.
They might get Meacham, the wide receiver, on an infraction here.
Holding. Number 80 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Trying to help Reggie get that corner turn, and that's where we see Reggie Bush so often in this New Orleans offense, guys. Outside the hashes, even outside the numbers, on the edges of the field is where they want to get him the ball.
Saints will play a second and 12 from their 18-yard line.
So the flag makes it 2nd and 12 for the Saints. Thomas to the right, and good tackling that time, led by Eric Coleman, the safety.
I'm seeing the Atlanta Falcons blitz a lot more than I've seen in recent weeks, especially strong side blitzes to the tight end. Take a look at it. They're stabbing linebackers and forcing a play to bounce to the outside, and you can see that Falcon speed on defense. It's really showing up. But Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator, is clearly trying to get something done with pressure on early down.
Yeah, and Eric Coleman did a really terrific job of just filling to the outside and making the play as those linebackers bounced it outside.
Push in the game for 3rd and 10. Here comes more pressure, and Breeze throws complete for the first down to Marcus Colston. Marcus forward progress across the 30, but there is a marker down in the secondary.
Illegal contact. Number 23 in the defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
One of the big matchups tonight is John Abraham versus Jermon Bushrod. And here's Abraham bull rushing against the youngster, and Drew Brees does a great job getting the ball out. But Bushrod is going to have his hands full all night, and they're going to try to get Abraham some good looks.
One final snap of the opening quarter. It's Thomas. Pierre spins. Gets about 5. Good first down run brings us to the end of an entertaining first quarter. Michael Turner got it going for the Falcons on the opening drive. A response from Pierre Thomas, but the Falcons defense gets the last one. And after one, Atlanta leads by 7. Two teams atop the NFC South. Atlanta leading the undefeated Saints 14-7 after 1. Second quarter underway. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski with Michelle Tafoya on the sideline. Falcons win here. They're just a game out in the NFC South. Saints win. They're up 3. Mike Bell starts the quarter with a first down run to the arms of Stephen Nicholas.
I'll tell you one thing about the Saints. They have 6 completions already to 6 different receivers. And these guys are so much different than one another. I can't believe it. They have 2 big guys. I call them the beasts, Shockey and Colston. They have 2 blazers, Meacham and Henderson. They can fly, and they got 2 bolts Lance Moore and Reggie Bush, guys that can quickly get in and out of cuts.
And Drew Brees.
Another beat. Looking for space here. He got hit and had it knocked away. Curtis Lofton was hanging on Drew and forced it out. Vance Walker making his NFL debut tonight.
Here's another blitz. You're going to see it coming right over here on the weak side. And Pierre Thomas is going to have an NFL down. That's a nice job. But once again, Drew Brees does an outstanding job, Jaws, getting it out of his hands to keep the Saints in second and normal and avoiding a sack.
Yeah, he won't take the sack, and what a job by Curtis Lofton. He's one of those B-words, beast for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, he brings it.
Mike Peterson bringing some of the pressure. Brees gets it to Shockey downfield. Deep pass to the tight end. First down, gain of 27.
Well, take a look at this, Jaws. You're going to like this matchup for Jeremy Shockey. Here's a blitz coming off the weak side, and they have a defensive end, Jamal Anderson, covering Jeremy Shockey. Great blitz pickup by the New Orleans Saints, and if you can get that type of execution from your backs by Reggie Bush and company, look at that. Anchor down, you get some matchups created. That's outstanding offense by the New Orleans Saints.
Well, DeCou made one sack and a fumble. Reggie Bush picked him up there.
Brees pressured, and he's brought down. Sack Jonathan Babineau coming around the end. Boy, they are pressuring Drew Brees here tonight.
There is no doubt Mike Smith has this defense fired up. They know their chance to win this football game is to get pressure on Drew Brees. Check it out right here. Number 95, Jonathan Babineau, goes right around Carl Nix. Good leverage. You love to see a defensive line come with leverage and flip those arms over the top to get the pressure on the quarterback and get the sack.
That's a nice stunt. We call that an ET game. The end goes inside, the tackle loops outside. Saints didn't execute the switch.
What, you make the quarterback phone home, ET? Second and 17, timeout.
Very good, Mike.
You got that, Josh?
Got that one, yeah.
Deep out of the movie reservoir. First timeout calls in the half.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Dickies, wear with purpose. Verizon Wireless. With Verizon Football Zone, every day will feel like game day. Live games, video on demand, and stats available on your phone anytime. On America's most reliable network, Verizon Wireless. And Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
Any of you guys venture to Bourbon Street on Halloween night?
No.
No? Josh, you did.
I did not.
John?
I kind of snuck down there.
And what,
you know it.
What kind of report do you have for us?
The scouting report was unbelievable. There was two of everything.
After the New Orleans timeout, second and 17. Brees has to come back down to Thomas, the second tight end. Got all but one. Gain of 16 for David Thomas. Expat was with New England last year.
Well, that's a guy Sean Payton is going to lean on. They just lost their fullback last week. The thing about Drew Brees, though, is he knows where everybody is, and he practices like this. Look at him setting up to throw the ball down the field. He resets. He finds that third option. And once again, it's an accurate throw, allows Thomas to run after the catch. That's big time. Poise in the pocket, especially after you've been hit hard a couple times.
John, I'm glad you mentioned practice because we saw Drew Brees do that at practice. Throw the football, then go through his progression. He knew where everybody was on every single play.
We have a timeout called from the back. Let's see. Did not see Atlanta call a timeout. Might be administrative with the clock. As the back judge came running in.
There's a problem with the play clock. It needs to go to 10 seconds, please. 10 seconds.
Let me build upon that Drew Brees comment I made a moment ago. At practice, he would throw the ball to a receiver, then reset himself and go through his progression to every receiver that was in the route. He was repeating the progression every single play at practice. So when he came up in the game, he knew he had that cemented in his mind.
3rd and 1 has been a struggle down for the Falcons, and Bell picks up the first down. 3rd and 1 this year. Falcons' opponents are 11 of 13. So opponents have That's usually down you make, but Atlanta has not done any job stopping the opponent in that situation.
Well, that's one thing the Falcons have uncharacteristically struggled big time at, and that's third down defense. They're doing an outstanding job on first and second down, forcing third down situations, but they're second to last in pro football and getting off the field on third down, and that's surprising.
Yeah, 45.2% converted. That's not good, as you said, 31st.
On the edge of the red zone, Bell gets there, takes it inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And we mentioned the red zone for a couple of reasons. New Orleans very good in there because of their quarterback, Drew Brees. Last 3 seasons, the completion percentage, and you guys can speak to that. So many people in a compressed area to complete 68% of your passes is extraordinary.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and I'll say this. Not many teams play better red zone defense than the Atlanta Falcons, and this is going to be a key area tonight who wins this game.
Second and 7, Breeze to the end zone. Hauled in by Colston. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Well, it's all about matchups. That's the name of the game. You get Marcus Colston at 6'4", 225 pounds, matched against Ty Hill, who is 5'10", 185. You throw it high enough so only your guy can go up and take it away. Boy, and that's courage. That's courage on the part of Drew Brees to make that throw, because that is tight coverage.
Touchdown catch number 6 on the season for Colston. New game at 14.
Marcus Colston is a beast.
Look at that size. One of those beasts you talk about, 6'4". Great body control. Boxed out on the touchdown. One of those very good receivers. Flagged by Marcus Colston. That suddenness to get on you and get up over you. Capping off the 12-play, 80-yard drive. Game tied at 14. Thomas Morstead also does a good job with kickoffs. Sent an NFL best 26 to the end zone this year. This one just at the 1, brought out by Eric Weems. Tackled to 23 by Usama Young.
Drew Brees is completing 67% of his passes this season because he has the courage to throw the ball into small windows, not big openings. He'll take the risk. He doesn't have access to the results. He'll still make the throw. He trusts his wide receivers to make plays. And why not when they're 6'4", fast, big, strong, with great hands? They'll go up and take it away.
Yeah, I'd throw to those guys, too. Keep throwing it to those guys.
You're right, Sean.
Been 7 minutes on the clock since the Falcons ran a play. Ryan got a slant. Roddy White to the 38. First down gain of 16.
Boy, I like Roddy White. Bump and run coverage. This is another big receiver that's a big-time player. Look at him set him up on the release. He's got a size advantage on Tracy Porter. Roddy White can play.
And Tracy Porter took the worst of that. Tried to get up for a second, but was woozy. So they'll come out and look at the second-year cornerback out of Indiana. Had a terrific start to his rookie season, then hurt his wrist, was out the rest of the year. And very good cornerback here in this NFC South.
Boy, he is playing very well. The fact is, you know, we break down the numbers, we look at the tape. You know, he's been targeted 45 times, only 24 complete against him.
Well, they'll look at Porter, and we'll step out for a second. Saints medical staff has been spending most of this time out talking to Tracy Porter. Look at this. Darren Sharper coming in.
That's why you respect the guys that play this game right there. That's what they go through.
Wow. A first down run by Michael Turner. He'll take it just over the 41-yard line for Atlanta. And Matt Ryan, who's been just as sharp as Drew Brees thus far.
You know, these two quarterbacks, Matt Ryan and Drew Brees, are outstanding. We know that. When Breeze went to New Orleans, I had a hard time with it when I was coaching. But when the Falcons got Matt Ryan, I crawled underneath my table. I was very disappointed to see him show up in Atlanta.
Two good quarterbacks, and the gritty Jake Delhomme, of course, in Carolina. Turner. Oh, good run by Turner into the secondary. Michael Turner, who has been missing compared to his great performance last year, busting out here in the first half. Already 84 rushing yards.
Boy, Mike, you talked about last year he averaged 4.5 per attempt, only 3.4 this year. Well, it's going to be up to 4.5 real quick the way he's running tonight. Excellent vision. That's what you'll love to see about a running back. Get to the outside. Jonathan Vilma, there's the run through. But Turner gets to the outside. Almost takes it to the house.
37-yard gain for the former Charger. Gonzalez coming out of the backfield as a decoy as they run Turner for 2 yards to the 20. So last year, this Atlanta Falcons team had to hit the reset button. Bobby Petrino leaving, Michael Vick off to prison, and it was a process. Draft a left tackle, draft a quarterback in Matt Ryan, bring in a new head coach there in Mike Smith, and in free agency, they went out and got Michael Turner from San Diego, who was LaDainian Tomlinson's understudy, and all he did was come in and have an all-pro season around 1,700 yards.
They didn't just draft a quarterback, though, and they just didn't pick up a running back. They added superstar players. Watch this guy as his career unfolds.
Aaron Stecker making his Falcons debut out of the backfield, catching the pass. Former New Orleans Saint tiptoes the sideline, gets to the 16. Stecker wasn't a Falcon a week ago, was signed on Tuesday. There's Thomas Dimitroff on the left, who's made so many of these personnel acquisitions. Sitting next to the owner and CEO of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank.
Mike, I thought a couple of years ago we were in Atlanta, we wouldn't get a Falcon game on Monday night for a long, long time. They've really turned their organization around. Props to Arthur Blank and Thomas Dimitroff.
3rd and 4. Ryan's throw is dropped. Michael Jenkins had a chance, couldn't squeeze it. It's an incomplete pass. Saints want a flag on Brian Finneran for hitting Darren Sharper, but could have known that. We'll have a field goal opportunity coming.
I think this is one thing that's lacking with the Falcons right now. They have not found a complement to Roddy White. This should be 1st and goal Falcons. Michael Jenkins has got to step his game up. He has dropped way too many passes. Jenkins hadn't scored a touchdown in 14 games. They need more from him. He has the talent to do it.
Well, he's a 6-year veteran. He took his eyes off the ball. That's a cardinal sin.
One of the top veterans, 3-time Pro Bowler Jason Elam from 34. Hit the upright, no good. Well, big opportunity. The drop pass kills the drive, and then the usually reliable Elam misses a relatively short one from 34. No points. Can't afford those against the Saints offense. We know you're sports fans. Some of you are wearing out the clicker. Let's show you how we got to 14-14 halfway through the second. Falcon opening drive. Michael Turner is having a big game. 85 rushing yards. That touchdown. Response from the Saints of Pierre Thomas. Missed tackle by Chevis Jackson, and Thomas works his way to tie the game at 7. Pressure on Drew Brees, part of the story tonight. Thomas Deku the hit, Troy Bierman the touchdown. Saints are unfazed, though. They're scoring 40 points a game. Right down the field, 80 yards. Brees to Colston. Game tied at 14. Here in the NFC South, where the Saints join the Colts as the last 2 unbeatens in the NFL. But if the Falcons win, they're only a game out right before the halfway point of the season. So very important game, been played at a high level so far with some pressure from the defenses and excellent quarterback play from the offenses. From the 24, Brees at work. Complete to Shockey, the tight end, right at the 30. Gain of 6.
And I think that's why the Falcons are blitzing more. They're just not getting the pressure that I've seen the Atlanta Falcons get with their 4-man rush. And you're seeing Drew Brees get to his 2nd and 3rd option way too many times, Ron.
Well, that's exactly what he does as well as anyone in the game. He'll sit back in that pocket, bounce, survey the field, and find somebody open. You got to get hits on Drew Brees.
Jeffrey Henderson, the speedster, came around, but they gave it to Thomas, who's got of his own. Into the Falcons secondary at the 40. Brent Grimes the tackle, a gain of 29.
And David Thomas, number 85, with a nice seal block to the inside that allowed Pierre Thomas to get to the outside.
Well, here comes Devery Henderson in motion. Breeze is going to hand the ball off to Pierre Thomas, and you see Henderson hold the backside. But here goes Pierre Thomas on another big run. Who is Pierre Thomas? He's had more 15-yard gains than any back in football. This guy's amazing. What a story.
It's pinballed around for a get of 3 yards. On the run, Pierre Thomas, in his 3rd year out of Illinois, was an undrafted guy. Came in here when they had all the injuries in 2008 and led the team in rushing. And that's what you were just talking about, John. Highest percentage in the NFL. 10 of his 62 rushes, 15 or more, including the touchdown we just showed.
It's amazing. Mickey Loomis, the GM of the Saints, finds more players than I can imagine.
Breeze, 2nd and 5. Lance Moore, another one of those found players for a first down.
Now, these guys aren't even drafted. Lance Moore, Pierre Thomas, and they're all outstanding football players that have come up in this system. And Mickey Loomis, he goes out and trades for Velma. He trades for Jeremy Shockey. He signs Drew Brees, and he and Sean Payton, they work together developing players. And they have become a dominant football team because of that, Ron.
And throw Drew Brees into that mix. They are really synchronized as far as what they want to do.
Lord Thomas, that time he's trapped behind the line of scrimmage, trying to fight away from the veteran Mike Peterson and Jonathan Babineau, who made the tackle. Loss of a yard.
Well, it's about penetration. That's what the Falcons are going to have to do. They're going to have to start getting some defenders in the backfield to blow some of these plays up, because this Saints running game has been downhill so far tonight. How can you not love Sean Payton, man? He just loves calling plays.
Got a lot of them.
Kill. Like 50, 90, next time.
Breeze, Henderson, Devery on the sideline, flag down. Gonna go back.
Pass interference, offense, number 19. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, Mike Smith was out on the field. I think he saw it the same way. You'll see Devery Henderson coming off the ball right here against Brent Grimes. There's the push right there. Pushes him back to create that separation. Good call by the officials.
Yeah, that's a good call. At the top of your route.
Wait, John, what did you say?
That is a good call.
All right.
At the top of your route, cannot extend your arms.
Right.
And Devery Henderson knows that.
We have that on record now.
Two consecutive weeks.
Right.
Number 38, Breeze. Oh, what an interception by Grimes, who went up as he was going for Henderson and snatches it out of the air. Brent Grimes out of Shippensburg, undrafted rookie free agent. Philly kid. Oh, look at those hops. Intercepts Drew Brees. Falcon ball. Beautiful night here in the Central Business District of New Orleans, tied at 14. Great interception by Brent Grimes, who stepped into the lineup for the injured Brian Williams. Williams out for the year, injured his knee against Chicago a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday night. Wow.
That's a big-time play.
Sure is.
That's some ups.
You know, Drew Brees tried to drop that ball in between the safety and the corner. What a play by Grimes, sinking and timing the vertical.
And Drew couldn't put enough air into that because he had Eric Coleman coming over the top. So he had to kind of get a little drill shot in there.
That offensive pass interference on Henderson, really a big penalty now as Turner twists and turns. And there's been a lot of the conversation in Atlanta. Are we going to see the Michael Turner of last year? And we're seeing a little more of that here tonight.
Well, they've seen a lot of it, 10 rushes for 90 yards. Michael Turner has it going tonight. Michael Turner, you'll see with a little block there from Brian Finner, and boy, he just hits that crease and takes it up the field. Then he bounces to the outside, and you see that explosive lateral agility from Michael Turner. And I love this one here, boy. He gets to that outside. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Take it up the sideline. Darren Sharp has to run him out of bounds. Turner is running like a man possessed today.
Play clock to 25 seconds. It was reset in error.
Second time we've had an issue with the play clock. You see Turner's numbers 90 yards. Mike Smith saw his running back have 8 100-yard games last year, 1 in the first part of this season. Hey, Tracy Porter hurt on the last drive, back in for the Saints. Had his bell rung, checked him out, checked out okay. He's back. Ryan flushed, out of the pocket, throws it away. Over the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
You know, this Falcon offensive line, not a lot of people talk about these guys. They have a veteran center in Todd McClure, but they're young. Sam Baker at left tackle, Blaylock at left guard, Harvey Dahl at right guard, Tyson Claybo at right tackle. They are mean guys. They are ornery, and they are loyal to one another. And their favorite guy is Michael Turner. Trust me, Jaws, they will get Turner going.
Mean and ornery. I love it, John.
3rd and 6. How many Saints are coming? A whole bunch from the left of the quarterback. Ryan got rid of it to White. But the coverage by Jabari Greer forces an Atlanta punt.
Jabari Greer has had a phenomenal season. I had a chance to talk to Mickey Loomis out at practice on Saturday and watch Jabari Greer just drive this football. I said, talking to Mickey, Greer had been targeted 45 times so far this year. Only 15 balls have been caught against him. Wow, that's 1 out of every 3 against Greer. What a year he's having.
Reggie time. Bush is back deep. Hayden will try to kick it between the numbers and the sideline. Try not to kick it in the middle of the field for Bush. He missed. 42-yard kick. Reggie from the 30. Dancing. And cutting for a 9-yard return with a penalty marker down. Back at the line of scrimmage. Curtis Lofton, that starting middle linebacker for the Falcons, injured.
Holding. Number 52 in the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The flag is on Jonathan Casillas. For the Falcon fans, big concern about their star middle linebacker, Lofton, down there on special teams and now down on the ground after that play. Oh, his own guy comes charging in. The other starting linebacker, Stephen Nicholas.
Well, it's not common that you have an every down linebacker covering punts, Jaws, but obviously this is a huge game for the Falcons, but they can ill afford to lose Curtis Lofton. He is the undisputed leader and captain of this football team. I hope he's okay.
Lofton took over the leadership role in that defense after Keith Brooking left last year, after last year, going over to Dallas. So we're sitting here at 14-14 with 2:46 left, and concerned about Lofton. You know, you talk about these two teams, and it was 06 for New Orleans and the start of last year, start of 08 for Atlanta. They had to hit the reset buttons for different reasons. And one of the things as we look around the league, you see a good team, coach, quarterback, stability, and both at the same time, those guys came in together. How important is that to turning this around for both teams?
Well, it's huge. Obviously, you got to have the right coach, but you got to have the right quarterback. And when Atlanta got Matt Ryan and when the Saints got Drew Brees, those are monumental moves for these two franchises. And let's be honest, the Falcons haven't had back-to-back winning seasons in their existence.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think the Saints only have 8 winning seasons in their history.
Correct. And it's all about percentages. That's what this game is about. So what gives you your best percentage shot to win football games? Get a rock-solid quarterback and a guy that's going to be under center for a decade for you. That's how you get it done. You get a Matt Ryan. You get a Drew Brees. That's your best percentage shot of winning consistently.
Lofton helped off the field. Coy Wire steps into the middle linebacker spot for the moment for the Falcons. Brees, 1st and 10 throw is complete to Colston. To the 35, a gain of 15 for Marcus. 2:35 to go and a couple of timeouts for New Orleans.
Once again, a first down blitz by the Atlanta Falcons, and you see the pickup by the New Orleans Saints, and Drew Brees throws a perfect strike to Marcus Colston.
Very interesting. Mike Peterson, who's going to slide over and play that spot, because he's called the signals in this defense before, had, I think, one of the helmets with the radio, because Lofton's the guy who wears that coach-to-player communicator. Push on the edge, puts his head down, and gains about 6 yards. Remember, they gave the defense the ability that the offense has to talk from the sideline to the players. The defensive guys say sometimes it doesn't work. Mike Peterson said, get this helmet out of here. I don't need this. And he got a correct helmet.
Please reset the game clock to 2:02. 2:02. Timeout. New Orleans. They're second.
So the Saints take a timeout, try to squeeze another play in here before the 2-minute warning. You talked about these guys and the franchise difference makers they are, John.
Well, you're darn right. I used to sit around. I love basketball. And I remember when Shaquille O'Neal joined the Orlando Magic, and life's changed down there. And when Tim Duncan showed up in San Antonio, hey, they're pretty good. And when the Kings showed up in Cleveland, the Cavaliers are a perennial power. And that's what happens when you go get Drew Brees, Cool Breeze, the surgeon. You become a perennial power in the NFC South. And the same can be said for Matt Ryan, what he brings to the Atlanta Falcons.
We got Cool Breeze. We got Matty Ice. It's just a cool night here.
I love this job, man.
I know you love basketball.
Second and 3. Breeze bought himself time. Down the middle. Strike to Meacham at the 28. Gain of 30 at the 2-minute warning. Whew. It's worth a timeout to set that one up, huh? What a job by Breeze controlling the play and getting them to the right one right before the 2-minute warning. Drew Brees adjusted that last play to get the Saints a 30-yard gain, get him down to the 28. That stuff, the guys will tell you how important that is to get everybody on the same page and get him to the right play. Toward Henderson, bring it in. Yes, Devery Henderson atones for his pass interference earlier. In front of Chris Houston, a gain of 25.
They're going to go right on the line and run another play, but there you see a stretch catch by Devery Henderson, who just leaves enough room for Drew Brees to drop it in on his sideline.
See if they'll stop it upstairs.
We're reviewing the play.
Yeah, good job. Good job upstairs, as that one was close. And you mentioned it, John. They were running up to the line, catch the Falcons in personnel, try not to get the review. Last 2 minutes, booth review. They'll look at this. Catch one. What comes down next? An elbow comes down inbounds. And we'll just make sure that the ball is held through the catch. You're not going to see the second foot, but you will get the elbow and the tail down.
I think they're going to give him a catch here, but let's talk about Devery Henderson. Here's a guy that struggled to catch the ball, Ron. He struggled to catch it his first couple years in the league, and this guy has worked himself into a sure-handed, outstanding young receiver, and I really credit Curtis Johnson, the wide receiver coach of the Saints. This kid Henderson practices catching handkerchiefs that are dropping to the ground. He'll play catch with trainers and managers. I watch this guy catching balls between periods after practice. This guy's really coming on for him, and I'm happy to see hard work pay off.
And Drew Brees is the kind of guy that will stay after practice, work with the wide receivers, throw and throw. They'll use the jugs machine to catch footballs. And clearly, when Devery Henderson came in this league, he had poor hands. He's come into a situation now where he really catches the ball very well.
I can't tell you how impressed I am with the battery of Sean Payton, the head coach, and the quarterback.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch.
Drew Brees. They put together a system that they collaborate with on a down-by-down basis. And the trust that Sean Payton has in Drew Brees, I think is unparalleled in football.
Like the way he talked him into going for that touchdown at the end of the half last week. 4-4 on this drive. First and goal from the 4. Pierre Thomas just shy of the goal line.
Well, we talk so much about this power running game of the Saints, how it's really augmented the passing game. This is when you have to be able to run the football.
Well, I think the Saints have two potential Pro Bowl guards. Left guard Carl Nix, just a second-year guy out of Nebraska, and of course Jari Evans at right guard. You stand next to these guys. They are mammoth, and they love thumping people, especially in goal line situations.
Spread him out. Bush is the back. Reggie on the toss to the edge. Touchdown.
Talk about dimensions on offense. The Saints have them all. The power running game, the outside running game with the satellite Reggie Bush and his lightning package, the short passing game with Shockey, the deep passing game with Henderson. Breeze has a lot of weapons to choose from. As John said, one heck of an offensive line.
John Carney bangs through the extra point. Remember, this all happened, we have a penalty marker down at the back end of this 80-yard touchdown drive.
Holding number 80, the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Retry.
Darnell Dinkins, so roll that point off as they take a peek at Jeremy Shockey on the sideline as well. Remember, this all happened on the back end of the field goal that hit the upright. You just cannot afford opportunities, even to get the threes against an offense that, you know, what are they, 3 80-yard drives here tonight?
Wow. And the missed field goal was preceded by a drop ball by Michael Jenkins, which would have given the Falcons a first down about the 10-yard line.
So it becomes a 30-yard extra point for Carney. Oh, and they almost got through off the edge with Grimes. But it is good, and it is 21-14 New Orleans.
Well, here's how the drive happened right here. Great pickup on a blitz, a down-the-field shot. And look at the throw and catch. Breeze and Devery Henderson. So many weapons, so many ways to attack. I came to the Saints training camp for 3 days and hung out with Sean Payton and Drew Brees. And I have never sat in a meeting where I was more stimulated than I was at that time. We can put in any kind of play, any kind of package. These two guys are football geniuses. And when you put them together, you can't underestimate how much they love this game. And they can go out on the practice field and execute just about anything you can imagine. And they do it with flawless execution.
And they spend so much time together. Not only Sean Payton and Drew Brees, but mix in Mickey Loomis. This group, they go out and they play golf. They came to Philadelphia this year. They played golf in Pine Valley, Marion, but they're together. They're always talking football, man. They're drunks. They love to play golf, but they're talking football all the time. It's a very unique situation where they all see the game the same way.
This guy's a great quarterback.
Really watched him elevate himself up to that next level. 288 yards of offense for the Saints in the first half. Thomas Morstead's kickoff brought out by Eric Weems. Heavy collision at the point. It's Weems out to the 31-yard line on his return. Well, through 7 weeks in this NFL season, Drew Brees throwing the ball 20 or more yards downfield, 16 completions. That's 57%, dwarfing the NFL average. And the beauty is it's not one deep guy getting it. It's Colston, Henderson with 4, Meacham with 3. Wait, there's more. Shockey a couple. Moore and Bush. So the big receivers, the speed receivers, the tight end down the seam, the slot guy, Bush out of the backfield. So many deep threats. The defense is compromised at every turn. And here are the results. 2-minute drill time for the Falcons with only a minute to go. Veron Haynes starts it with that completion, and quickly Mike Smith takes a timeout with 52 seconds left. Falcons will have a couple left. They'll operate from their own 38. Chris Berman and Tom Jackson standing by for the Toyota halftime show. We'll reprise the Favre return to Lambeau. The Broncos lose for the first time, and Ted Ginn on the way out in some respects. And a knockout punch he gave the Jets in the third quarter. 100-plus yard kickoff returns in that third yesterday.
Special teams count. Don't ever forget that. Big drive for the Falcons here.
I agree with you, Jaws, especially because New Orleans gets the ball first to start the second half. Ryan, intercepted. Going the other way with Jabari Greer. Touchdown! Killer touchdown for the Saints. The 14th interception this year for New Orleans. 5 of them have gone back for touchdown. And the Falcons are down 2 touchdowns. Seconds ago it was a tie game. 2 touchdowns in 23 seconds change it. 48-yard return for the former Buffalo Bills, Jabari Greer.
Jabari Greer. Here's the blitz coming at the top of the screen. And watch Jabari Greer. He's just going to read the route all the way. He never backs up. And he anticipates the hook route. And did anybody up here know Jabari Greer could run like this? Here's another outstanding free agent acquisition. How many corners have come out of Buffalo and played great football? What an impact play by Jabari Greer.
Well, what you can do when that pressure came from the left side of Matt Ryan, his tempo picked up. It had to. There was pressure coming. But Jabari Greer understands the pressure is going to get to the quarterback. He's going to have to look to the receiver quickly. I'll read the quarterback's eyes. His eyes will take me to the football. That's exactly what happened. Jabari Greer read Matt Ryan, took him to the football.
Is another former Tennessee guy that can fly. He's got some track stats that showed up right there, man.
Great hurdle champ, NCAA champ in his day. Listen to this place. Joint is jumping.
Matty Ice would like to have that one back.
Short kick. Weems gets it at the 9. To the 34-yard line. 37 seconds left and a couple of timeouts.
Well, you see Roddy White coming in on his turn route, and Vilma buzzes to the outside. Well, I think Roddy White may have a little argument that a little contact while the ball was in the air and couldn't get back to the inside, but no flag was thrown.
Atlanta's got to really be careful here, guys. This crowd is going to be humming.
Ryan still has 2 timeouts. He'll air it out to the sideline through the arms of Jenkins and incomplete. Again, the small things that change games. Who knows what happens if Jenkins holds on to that pass as Atlanta's driving down the field earlier. Instead, they miss the field goal, and New Orleans walks down, gets the Bush touchdown, and the pick 6.
You know, so small plays, you know, within the game that you have to make on a consistent basis. 3rd and 3, you've got to convert the first down. You got to sustain offense, keep that Saints offense off the field.
First time that a Ryan interception was brought back the distance. Through the hands of Roddy White. And incomplete. It's 3rd down with 27 seconds left. And you don't want to be in a situation where you punt to Reggie Bush.
You know, one of the things with Greg Williams' defenses, guys, is he bewilders quarterback before the snap and after the snap. Take a look at Sharper, the safety, bail out of there and get back to the zone. That's the first down play. That's not the look that we wanted.
Timeout taken by the Saints. Here with 27 seconds left. Want to make sure their defense is all straightened out. So New Orleans used them all now. Falcons still with 2.
Take a look at Sharper. He's the master of disguises. He'll show you blitzes, and sometimes he comes. And a lot of the times, right before the snap of the ball, he retreats to the middle and reads the quarterback. And that's what he told us in a meeting yesterday. He loves playing here. He's not stagnant playing half the field. They move him around, and it really fits this guy's style. He's a great playmaker.
And you know what you love about that situation? It was 2nd and 10. There's 27 seconds to go. Greg Williams dials up the blitz. He brings 6 after the quarterback. He will never let the quarterback get comfortable in the pocket, allow him to stand back there, survey the field, and make a big play. He's going to get hits on the quarterback. And, boy, this has been an unbelievable epiphany that this defense has had this year.
There they go again. Sharper bailing out. Ryan throws complete to Gonzalez, who took a shot from Sharper at the 49. 20 seconds left. 15-yard gain for Tony. And the clock is stopped with a timeout, I believe.
Tony Gonzalez, such a big body guy. You know, you just can't cover him. You'll see Roman Harper come out. He can't hold Tony up. He's too big. He's too strong. You just can't slow Tony down. 13 years and still as productive as any tight end in the league. And, you know, what a class guy. We spent some time with Tony yesterday, and he just wants to go out and play with the winner. You know, he knows things weren't going well in Kansas City. It's going to be a while before they get winning again. He just wanted to give himself an opportunity to finish with a winner, get to the playoffs, and maybe get some playoff wins.
Been to the playoffs 3 times, hasn't been part of a playoff winning team. The timeout was taken by the Falcons. The clock was reset to 21. That why the delay. So 21 seconds are left here in this first half from the 49 Ryan. That was complete to Justin Peel, the tight end. A gain of about 5, and that clock now sits at 16 seconds.
Well, there's a lot of pre-snap activity out of these New Orleans Saints on defense. That time, they rushed 3 guys. Had 3 deep, 5 underneath. Not a lot of places to go with the football. And that's an excellent job by Matt Ryan checking it down and getting a clock stoppage.
He's going to need to get this ball to probably about the 35-yard line. Give themselves an opportunity for a field goal.
Some administrative question here as to where we sit. The line judge, Mike Spaniers, come in. Talk with Jeff Triplett.
Please set the game clock to 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Well, when it reset to 21 here in the stadium, that's...
Thank you.
It was sitting at 15, so there was a 6-second difference. So the 6 seconds that were put back on apparently were put on erroneously. So take the 6 off, we're back at 10.
The clock operator better make some halftime adjustments.
No kidding. It doesn't happen at home usually, right? The question comes after the Gonzalez catch, who called the timeout and where? And was that the reason that that time was put back on the clock? I just want to make sure that they have 5 seconds is huge here.
Correction. The clock needs to be set back to 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Thank you.
Okay. Hey.
I'd lose my mind right now, guys. I tell you.
Wait, you're making positive comments about the fishing the last couple of weeks.
Let's play the game here.
There we go.
I do think they got it right because that sideline asked for the timeout and the clock kept running and it wasn't called to stop the clock at the proper moment. So frustrating, but I think this is the right thing. Pressure, Ryan slides it out to Gonzalez. They're right at the edge of field goal range here, and Mike Smith is over by the official on his sideline to call timeout with 9 seconds left.
I really like what Matt Ryan did coming back after the interception. Great poise. Move your team right down the field and give Jason Elam a chance to get you something.
Well, I'll say this about quarterbacks this league. You better have amnesia. That's a trait every quarterback has to have if you're going to stay in this league any amount of time, because you're going to be humbled. You're going to be embarrassed. But you have to forget and come back and make the next play.
Okay, now Elam has made a 50-yarder against Miami this year. They have no timeouts left. 9 seconds. From here, it's just a shade over 50, right between 50 and 51 yards. With the ball sitting at the 33.
Yeah, this is risky. This is risky. I would have kicked the field goal here. Anything in bounds, you're not getting an opportunity to get 3.
A little cushion on the far side for the moment. Here's Ryan trying to throw to get it to White on the sideline. Incomplete. And with 4 seconds left, we'll have that 50 or 51-yard attempt from Elam. Of course, Jason Elam, one of the long kickers in NFL history.
And he had him. He had Roddy White to the outside. He just missed the throw. Mike Mularkey's another guy that has a play for every situation, I'm telling you.
This for the 40th 50-plus yard field goal in his career to tie Morton Anderson with that many 50-yarders. Not a chance. So it's been a bad first half for Jason Elam. A miss that hit the upright from 34. Nowhere close from 51. And at the break, the Saints lead the Falcons by 14. They'll get the ball first. New Orleans will. Here's Chris, Toyota Halftime Show.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Well, just what we thought with the New Orleans Saints.